Dwayne Powers. That is correct, Ms. Drew. And now for the bonus round. Name the washed-up director and interfering actress who will be dead in a matter of minutes. Hurry up, contestants. Time's running out. I'm coming to get you, Lillian.
Places, everyone! Are you ready for your final close-ups?
Do you have an appointment? In that case, I suggest you learn to read. Don't you understand? Don't you understand English? I'm sorry, I'm in Suite 101. Come in. I don't have all day to play with the door.
I'll buzz you in one more time.
Come in. Yes?
Hello, Rick. Don't try to leave the room. The door's right. Didn't you get my first warning? Somewhere in this room is an explosive device that will blow your body to smithereens. Maybe it will be Hollywood. Too bad your debut out there will be.
Go away. Don't you understand?
Mr. Powers, Maddie Jensen sent me to see you about a job as an extra.
I'm sorry. I'm in Suite 101. Come in. I don't have all day to play with the door. I'll buzz you in one more time. You've reached the Powers Agency. Interviews are only taken by appointment. Thank you. I apologize for my abrupt greeting. You must understand that if I opened my door to every struggling actor in this town, I'd never be able to get my work done. Yes, Miss Drew. What can I do for you? Ah, Miss Drew. Maddie told me all about the bomb you defused. What a stroke of luck you were passing by. With Rick's dressing room right next to Maddie's, she could have gotten killed. Actually, I am in need of an assistant at this moment. I had to terminate my previous secretary. I'm afraid that my standards are rather high for most people. Oh, that's okay, Nancy. It's Nancy Drew, right? Maddie spoke highly of your abilities, and I am more than happy to give a young actor a chance, if I can. Ah, yes. Maddie just called me. You're Nancy Drew, am I correct? Normally I don't do this, but seeing that you're a friend of Maddie's, I could pull some strings for you. You see, Worldwide uses me almost exclusively for hiring their talent. Not only did I provide them with Maddie Jensen, but Rick Arlen as well. Maddie and I go back over 8 years. We met doing summer stock at the Belfry Theater upstate. She went on to play Juliet with a touring company, and I started this agency. Yes, we are. She's a talented actress and extremely generous, as you very well know. However, I am afraid Rick may be having a bad influence on her. You see, Rick foolishly believes acting is a status symbol, not an art form. He's a ladder climber who'll use anyone to crawl his way to the top. A ladder he's sure to fall from one of these days. Yes, I was. But I must confess that the man has no talent. Were it not for his good looks and charm, he'd never have gotten to where he is now. Well, Nancy, you must be anxious to start this assignment. I'll call right now and have a pass waiting for you at the reception desk. Now, if you'll please excuse me, I must get back to work. It was a pleasure meeting you. Please call on me for any other needs you may have. It's clear to me that he's setting this whole thing up to generate publicity for his grand entrance into the film world. My only fear is that some poor bystander like Maddie will get hurt. Show business is a very harsh world, Ms. Drew. Look at me. I've studied every aspect of acting, the classics, dialects, stage combat, everything. I was underrated and underappreciated, but brilliant. And yet a phony like Rick Arlen is a success, and here I am, a talent agent. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I still harbor regrets about not pursuing my acting career further. My only point is that Rick has every reason to fake these so-called threats against himself. He has yet to suffer any harm from them, but the publicity and attention has served him well. Jealous of what? The man can't act his way out of a paper bag, Ms. Drew. I've spent years studying drama, but because I'm not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed fool, I have no place in this business. Yes, I've met Millie once or twice. She's very eccentric, actually owns a studio, but chooses to stay locked up in that prop room of hers. Rumor has it that she's trying to write Rick Arlen out of the show. I don't see why she would. Lillian is very professional, though I think she doesn't care for Maddie very much. I'm not sure, but without a doubt it has something to do with Rick. He enjoys creating trouble. Just make a good impression. Remember, you're representing me when you're at Worldwide. Are you interested in stage managing? I'd be happy to talk to you about this subject. I used to be quite a whiz at it myself. Lillian has the entrance code, but
I see no reason why you'd need to get up there.
Not unless Lillian is shooting a scene at night. That entry code is confidential, for obvious reasons. If you ever have a valid reason for getting in, I could, of course, give you the code. Yes, she did. She was very upset. She said you accused her of having something to do with Rick's threats. To tell you the truth, I think you're onto something there. I had my suspicions about Lillian for quite some time. That is why I've asked Mr. Pappas to keep you on with Worldwide. Only two. You and Maddie. Oh yes, and a temporary stagehand. It's been difficult finding adequate talent these days. No, she hasn't discussed this with me, but it wouldn't surprise me. I know Rick has been pressuring her to leave me and to sign on with a high-profile agency. It's saddening to hear this, but I'm hopeful Maddie will remain loyal to me. I don't believe them. Rick was always known for his odd sense of humor and practical jokes. Unfortunately, Maddie always fell for them, just like she's doing now. Oh, come now, Ms. Drew. Don't be so modest. You mustn't be afraid of vanity. It's done wonders for Rick Arlen. But don't think for a minute some horrible villain was behind this bomb threat. It has Rick written all over it. Oh, he's just blowing off steam. Rick's recent threats about leaving the show have put an undue amount of pressure on him. Upper management seems to fear that the ratings will fall if Rick leaves. Although I really can't picture that, since Maddie is the real star of Light of Our Love. Oh no, that won't be necessary. It wasn't very important. Why, hello, Ms. Drew. I only followed Lillian here, but I've trapped both of you. Your deaths will make a wonderful end to Act 1. Rick Arlen's death will be the climax to this little soap opera I've produced. I'm calling it One Death to Die. More reason than I? Rick Arlen has to die, and I'll tell you why. Because he killed me. He killed Dwayne Powers! I wish I could take credit for it all. But it was really Rick who started it. He sent the first letters, probably to drum up publicity for his failing career. And Lillian, well, of course, was kind enough to supply him with the tainted chocolates. You see, Ms. Drew, everyone hates Rick. I'm doing the world a service by getting rid of him. No! I made them stars. I did it all. And how did Rick repay me? By leaving me and destroying my business. Once he left, I lost all of my clients except for Maddie. Real life is a soap opera. You'll learn that. Or rather, you would have learned that had you lived. Enough! Words, words, words! You will soon see that I am a man of action. I'll come down for the final close-up. I'm going to write you two out of the script forever. So sorry about your short-lived career, Miss Drew. I disguised myself as Owen Spader to gain access to the studio. I had everyone fooled, but then you came along and found out too much. Time's up! Looks like it's curtains for you, Miss Drew. Time's up! It's curtains for you, Miss Drew. When I worked with Rick at the Belfry, he was always playing off of people's weaknesses, starting rumors and fights. He always seemed to prey on the most gullible people. I really believe the stress of the show and her past relationship with Rick may have pushed her over the edge. Just be careful, and don't believe everything she says. I'm not sure when he's scheduled to work next. Oh, thank you for that boost of confidence, Ms. Drew. But if only I could believe that for sure. To spite me, I believe. I think it embarrasses him that I know of his lowly beginnings, when he was just Rick Abertusky, ready to take the worst acting jobs for next to nothing. Thank you for checking in with me. I'd like to know how things are working out at Worldwide. Powers Agency, how may I help you?
Hi, Mr. Powers. It's Nancy Drew.
It was a pleasure to be of service. Good day, Miss Drew.
Goodbye, young lady. Goodbye, and good luck. Feel free to contact me if you need additional assistance. Goodbye.